Right now on Morning News Now, take two. President Trump's second term in office beginning with controversy, from pushback over those pardons for roughly 1,500 January 6th criminal defendants to the flurry of legal challenges facing his executive orders on immigration. We're digging into Trump's new crackdown, including allowing ICE agents to make arrests in schools, hospitals, and in churches. And the new $500 billion push from the White House taking aim at AI. Also in Washington, new allegations against Mr. Trump's pick to lead the Defense Department. The affidavit sent to senators by Pete Hegseth's former sister-in-law, and how the White House is reacting. Plus, a potentially landmark civil rights case heads to the Supreme Court. The deadly police shooting that was captured on camera, and what it could mean for the future of prosecuting law enforcement. And a historic winter storm brings a blast of Arctic air to the south, the system freezing flights and creating dangerous conditions on the roads, while blanketing Texas, Louisiana, even parts of Florida's panhandle in snow. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is tracking the polar plunge that made it very hard to get out of bed this morning.
NBC News can confirm it is cold.
Yeah, it feels like 5 when my alarm went off. I'm like, lovely.
Good morning. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We're going to begin our show this morning in Washington, where President Trump continues to introduce sweeping new changes to government following an initial flurry of executive orders. In a controversial move on Tuesday, the Trump administration ordered all federal employees hired in diversity, equity, and inclusion roles to be placed on paid leave and eventually laid off. The order came in a memo sent to the heads of government departments and agencies.
That comes after the first few prisoners locked up on charges related to the January 6th Capitol attacks were released yesterday. They walked out of prison after President Trump pardoned about 1,500 January 6 defendants and commuted the sentences of 14 prisoners. Among those set free, the former head of the far-right group the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, and the former Oath Keepers leader, Stuart Rhodes. Speaking at a news conference yesterday, the president defended his pardons and commutations, even though some were charged with violent crimes connected to the riots.
These people have already served years in prison. And they've served them viciously. It's a disgusting prison. It's been horrible. It's inhumane. It's been a terrible, terrible thing.
NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hilliard joins us now with more on this. Vaughn, let's start with the ongoing fallout to these January 6 pardons. What else did we hear yesterday from the president on this issue? And just what more do we know about the people who have actually been released so far?
Yeah, last night, guys, he defended his decision to move forward with those pardons. There were 14 individuals who had their sentences commuted. Those were the leaders of the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, who were charged on those seditious conspiracy charges. They also released yesterday from the prison system. But then more than 1,500 that were pardoned, including more than 175 who had either pled guilty or been found guilty to violently assaulting police officers. And when he was asked about this, the president last night at the White House, by including our own Peter Alexander, he essentially sidestepped saying that he would look at each individual case, but that's what he has already done. And the pardon is final. And these individuals have now they have been released through the prison system and are now formally pardoned.
Vaughn, it's been interesting because it seems like this decision is even splitting the GOP. Tell us reaction from senators.
Right. President Trump made the case that these people love their country, was the words that he used, and that they have already served enough time in prison for the events that unfolded on January 6th. But lawmakers on Capitol Hill, Republicans and Democrats, they struck a different chord in response, except for some Republicans who defended the president's decision. Take a listen.
It's a betrayal of the highest order of our Capitol police officers, who risked their lives to keep us safe.
I think they were absolutely justified. Again, I don't know all the cases. I certainly don't want to pardon any violent actors, but there's real miscarriage of justice here.
I just can't agree. I'm about to file 2 bills that will increase the penalties up to and including the death penalty for the murder of a police officer, and increasing the penalties and creating federal crimes for assaulting a police officer. That should give you everything you need to know about my position.
President Trump was even asked about his own Vice President, J.D. Vance's comments just 2 weeks ago, that he also opposed the pardoning of violent assaulters of police officers. And yet that is the decision that the president made, and it's final.
All right, Vaughn, let's also talk about the other big story yesterday, the move by President Trump to put DEI hires on paid leave. Eventually, they'll totally lose their jobs. It's part of this wider push to dismantle federal DEI programs. Tell us more about the rationale behind this step. And do we know just how many people are losing their jobs here?
Right. He put the executive order on day one to try to dismantle any DEI efforts here. But then last night, this memo to agency and department staff indicating that anybody that works in a DEI capacity should be put on paid leave, and then ultimately that they should be terminated from their positions. Now, one source indicates to me that there's a question of just how many people actually across the executive branch exist in this type of capacity. There are many DEI political appointee positions that the Trump administration clearly will not fill. But when it comes to the civil worker, the workforce, it is not clear how many individuals actually fill the DEI space. And so while this was a very clear-cut request that has been made by the Trump administration, I'm also told that it's not exactly clear how many individuals this will actually lead to the termination of.
All right, Vaughn, thank you so much.
Well, it's the third day of his second term, but President Trump's mass deportations and ICE raids are not playing out as quickly as he promised. Raids targeting several so-called sanctuary cities across the U.S. were supposed to get underway immediately after Monday's inauguration, but as of last night, they do not seem to have started yet.
The Department of Homeland Security did announce that it's rolling back a restriction that will increase law enforcement access to what have been called sensitive spaces. So now officers can target places like schools, churches, playgrounds, and daycare centers.
NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley joins us with more. Julia, good morning. So what are some of the reasons that so far these haven't gotten underway yet?
You know, it's interesting. I'm hearing a number of things. One is that perhaps they want to see Trump's pick for DHS, to lead DHS, Kristi Noem, to be confirmed and have her installed before they start these deportations. Another is that they simply don't have the funding. As we know, when we've reported here, they were short $230 million at ICE to carry out the normal operations and the level of deportations they were doing under the Biden administration. So it could be that some of these people got there and said, we don't have the capacity to arrest, detain, and put on planes the number of people we want to deport. I actually had a chance to ask Tom Homan about this yesterday when I saw him in person briefly and off camera, and he said, we are devoting more people to this mission. So that might not necessarily mean that there's going to be the shock and awe early on that we expected. That could mean it comes later. But the week is not over yet, and I do think that we may see some action in major metropolitan cities by the end of the week, Savannah.
Julia, so some sanctuary cities we know have laws or ordinances in place protecting migrants in spaces like schools and churches, the ones I mentioned just a moment ago. So now that DHS has opened those up to law enforcement, what kind of pushback could Trump's administration get when it comes to immigration raids? Are there people who are concerned that we could see raids in schools where children are?
We've already seen some of that pushback, Joe. The mayor of Denver is saying how disruptive that could be to their community if their children afraid of going to school because of deportation raids, people who would be afraid to seek emergency health care because they're afraid they could be arrested there. And that's from a mayor who wanted to have common sense conversations with the Biden administration about what to do about the influx of migrants in his city. These new policies used to be blanket. It actually began in the Obama administration. They were upheld in the first Trump administration and then expanded under Biden, which basically said unless someone is an imminent threat to public safety, ICE is not allowed to go into these safe spaces. It also included rallies. So if there was a rally, say for Pathways to Citizenship where undocumented immigrants might go, that would not be a place that ICE would target for arrest. And so there are some mayors here who are pushing back. But I have to say, Joe, just based on the playbook here, that's exactly what the Trump administration wants. They also want to be able to take to court or withhold federal funding for sanctuary cities where the local law enforcement refuses to cooperate with ICE. This is all a battle that Trump is willing to wage.
Julia, one of the immigration-related executive orders from Trump that's probably facing some of the most legal concerns here, with nearly 24 states filing lawsuits over this, it's this attempt to end birthright citizenship. What do these lawsuits argue?
Well, they argue that it's a violation of the Constitution, that it's been clearly stated in the 14th Amendment that people who were born here are citizens. There are a few exceptions if you come in as a child of a diplomat, for example, because you wouldn't be, quote, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. That's written into the 14th Amendment. But otherwise, people who are born here are U.S. citizens. And so they say that this new executive order, which directs federal agencies to do a 30-day review of how they can enact this policy, they say that's in violation. They don't want to see that go into effect. We should say that isn't in effect currently because of that review. But what Trump has said is not only that if you're born to a parent who is here unlawfully, that you're not a U.S. citizen. If you're born to a mother who is here lawfully but temporarily, for example, here working on a visa, you would not be a U.S. citizen. That, as we understand, could actually be a huge setback to some companies that use those visas to attract workers to the United States. It's a big battle that the Trump administration, again, is willing to wage, but the blowback on that particular piece has been immense and very fast.
All right, Julia Ainsley, thank you so much.
Now, as the confirmation process continues to play out for President Trump's top cabinet picks, new allegations are coming to light against his nominee for Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth. NBC News got an exclusive look at an affidavit from Hegseth's former sister-in-law, the ex-wife of his brother. It was submitted to senators yesterday and details allegations of volatile and threatening conduct from Hegseth against his second wife, Samantha Hegseth. The affidavit comes after the Senate Armed Services Committee leader, Democratic Senator Jack Reed, requested more information on Hegseth's fitness to serve as defense secretary.
Pete Hegseth's lawyer dismissed the allegations against him. His ex-wife here, Samantha, said in a statement to NBC News there is no physical abuse during their marriage. She also said she will not talk more about their marriage. And an order in their 2021 divorce proceedings shows that both of them agreed that, quote, neither parent claims to be a victim of domestic abuse.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin joins us now. She's part of the team that broke this story. Julie, good morning. So just what kind of allegations does this affidavit detail about Pete Hegseth? And tell us more about how he is responding.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, well, Danielle Hegseth, who is the former sister-in-law of Pete and Samantha Hegseth, that's his second ex-wife, she says that Pete Hegseth acted in a way that made Samantha fear for her safety. She details in this affidavit that in some of these cases, Samantha had to hide in her closet to get away from Hegseth, that she had, in one case, actually activated an escape plan that has been triggered by a safe word sent to her friends and family, her confidants, which is who Danielle was in this case. Now, Pete Hegseth is denying all of this. His attorney is saying that Danielle Hegseth does not like Pete, that they have had a bad relationship. And of course, Samantha Hegseth had told us that there was no physical abuse in the marriage. But these allegations now, for the first time, going from anonymous smears to a place where there's an on-the-record statement from Danielle Hegseth saying these things. And I think that's something senators are paying attention to.
Hegseth's Senate vote was expected as soon as tomorrow. He would just need a simple majority to be confirmed. That's 51 of the Senate's 53 Republicans. But could these new allegations, do we think, impact that vote? Is it shaking confidence among his own party?
Well, I'll tell you that even before these allegations came to light, in this public manner of somebody signing on the dotted line and signing the sworn affidavit, there were allegations, there were rumors, people knew things on both sides of the aisles, the transition knew certain things, there were these back and forth conversations, and even in one-on-one meetings, I'm told by some Republicans that they brought up specific allegations of his alcohol abuse, that sexual assault, the alleged sexual assault that he had denied in Monterey was a concern even back in December, and then you have these other rumors of his potential behavior for his ex-wives. Now, it's going to be tricky, of course. The president deserves to have who he wants in his cabinet. Certainly Republicans want to give that to him. But I spoke to several Republicans who have viewed this affidavit yesterday in a closed-door setting and on redacted version. And look, this vote is definitely getting sped up, right? They quickly reported him out of committee on Monday. The vote could happen as soon as Thursday for a full confirmation vote. And so the clock is ticking, but certainly senators are concerned. They need at least 4, of course, because of J.D. Vance, to be able to actually block his nomination.
Julie, real quick, let's talk about some of the other cabinet nominees. What hearings are scheduled for today, and could we see any other confirmation votes this week?
Well, it was interesting because, of course, yesterday Elise Stefanik was on the Hill for her confirmation hearing. Doug Collins was on the Hill for his confirmation hearing. There are still a couple that we're waiting on. Tulsi Gabbard's hearing has not yet been scheduled officially. They're looking to have her come in some point next week because that FBI paperwork has officially been submitted. There are several votes happening already. Marco Rubio was confirmed as Secretary of State on the night of inauguration. John Ratcliffe to be CIA director. He was reported out of committee. That nomination is heading to the floor. Again, Pete Hegseth could be voted on later this week. Kristi Noem is going to come up for a vote soon. She will be the head of the Department of Homeland Security. So these things are moving very quickly. Pam Bondi, we know, of course, sat before a committee for a hearing. Her nomination will move soon out of the committee as well. Kash Patel still has to have his hearing for FBI director. So certainly a lot of moving parts still on these nominees. I'll tell you, though, since Rubio got confirmed, no other nominees have gotten confirmed yet. There's some back and forth with Democrats and Republicans and trying to hold some things up, especially given these new allegations against Pete Hegseth. We'll see, of course, what happens here.
All right, Julie, thank you so much.
Well, now let's get to the historic winter storm that's sweeping across the South. Temperatures have dropped to around 25 degrees below normal as measurable amounts of snow fall in places not used to it, like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and New Orleans.
The storm is closing roads and schools, canceling flights from Texas to the Carolinas. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson has the latest from Houston, where the airport is expected to reopen this morning. Hey there, Priscilla. Good morning.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. A bit of good news there that the airport is going to reopen. As you can see, though, still a lot of snow out here. Some of it did start to melt yesterday as the sun came out. But the issue is that overnight, those temperatures dipped again. Right now, it is a cool 20 degrees here. And so there's a big concern about ice on the roads, that the snow that melted may have refrozen overnight, becoming ice. We're already seeing some of that out here on the sidewalks. And so it's another day of folks being urged to stay off the roads, even as the airports are now reopened in a number of these states. And so folks are going to be able to get out on planes if they're interested in seeking warmer weather. Joe, Savannah.
Priscilla, tell us a little bit, too, just about how it's being handled in Houston. What are locals telling you, just in a place that's not quite used to this much snow?
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun for folks yesterday. We saw people out sledding and doing all of those things. Places like Bourbon Street filled with snow, beaches covered in snow. It was just sights that people had not seen before. But now is sort of coming the days where officials are still asking people to kind of hunker down as this weather moves through. And we met a lot of people who said they were prepared. They had stocked up on supplies. They had wrapped their pipes, covered their plants, did all of those things, because those infrastructure issues are still going to be a concern. Already we saw parts of Louisiana having to go under a boil water notice because of some of that. Some good news, though, is that the power grid here in Texas has been holding up very well. We have seen some local outages in places like Florida and Texas and Louisiana, but nothing widespread. So hopefully we can make it through these next couple of days in that same way, even as these cold temperatures stick around a while.
Yeah, and it's not just the South. All kinds of areas all around the country are being impacted by this wintry weather. I mean, what can you tell us about just what's going on along the East Coast, including places like Florida and South Carolina?
Yeah, this storm is on the move. So you've got Florida, places like Tallahassee. The airports there are going to be closed until midday today. There are also schools and businesses that are closed there because of some of the weather that they're getting. So it's still causing some major disruptions. In North Carolina, we saw them beginning to stage National Guard troops as they prepare to handle what's heading their way. And so the storm is continuing to move east, and it's going to continue to cause some issues for folks both traveling on the roads and also just in general in terms of living in these really cold Arctic temperatures for a little bit longer. But hopefully folks will get a chance to thaw out soon. Joe, Savannah.
Priscilla Thompson, I hope that includes you. Get inside. Thanks so much.
All right, let's stick with that wintry mess that's hitting the South and check your morning news now weather.
Michelle Grossman is here tracking it all for us. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, we had that historic snowstorm yesterday into the overnight hours. It's pretty much off the coast at this point. I'll show you on radar where it's kind of lingering, but we still have 13 million Americans under winter alerts. I expect these alerts to drop out pretty soon, with the exception of portions of Virginia, the most eastern part of Virginia, and also North Carolina. So as we look at radar, you can see most of this has moved off the coast. It's an area area of low pressure now over the Atlantic. You can see a little smidge here in portions of South Carolina, also in eastern North Carolina. That's where we could see some accumulating snow. It's not going to amount to much, maybe up to an inch at the most. But we're also looking at some heavy rain. That's going to linger for most of today in parts of southern Florida, where you see those brighter colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. That's where we're seeing the heaviest rain, and that will be continuing throughout the day. Also really cold temperatures. We're not going to see an end to those cold temperatures. We're looking at freezing temperatures even down to the south. So those showers linger, then it's completely off the coast by later on today into tomorrow. Notice this, we're looking at some accumulating. Most of us in the south will not see accumulating snow, with the exception of Morehead City, could see up to an inch at most as we go throughout this morning hours. Otherwise, it's out of here. Let's talk about the cold. This continues to be a huge story. We're looking at dangerous chill still. That Arctic air all the way from the northern plains to the southern plains, 160 million people still under an extreme cold watch or an extreme cold warning. Where you see the extreme cold warning, that is in that darker pink here. So that includes places like Houston, New Orleans, parts of the Appalachians into the Ohio Valley. So this is not going anywhere. We're going to see another cold day tomorrow and then into the weekend. It looks like by the end of the weekend, we're going to start to see some improvements, but still really chilly for this time of year. So as we go throughout time here, we're going to see daytime highs anywhere from 10 to 30 degrees, once again below average. Notice in Chicago, 23 degrees, but 30s even in the south. We're looking at Jackson, Mississippi, 39 degrees, 31. That is below freezing in New Orleans. So that snow that's on the ground is going to stay put for a little while. 37 in Panama City, 36 in Charleston, and just 21 in New York City. A cold morning this morning. We're going to see another cold morning tomorrow morning. So record lows along the Gulf Coast to the Carolinas, just 23 tomorrow morning in Pensacola. You factor in the winds, it's going to feel like 20. It will feel like 26 in Jacksonville. Another cold morning in the New England area, the Northeast, pretty much everywhere except for the portions of the West.
Find the warm spot.
We should do that. That'd be much quicker. It'd be like a 3-second hit. And then gradual warm up as we head towards Friday and Saturday. But, you know, that's in quotes because you look at Friday and Saturday, it's still below freezing. So 30 degrees on Saturday, but much better than it has been today and then compared to yesterday as well. Elsewhere in the country, we're looking at fire risk once again, not quite as high as yesterday in Southern California, but still we're looking at a critical risk. And then that's going to ramp up once again as we go through tonight into tomorrow. We're just stuck in this pattern where the Santa Ana winds just keep coming.
Yeah, hopefully they break it soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, as the dangerous Santa Ana winds, as Michelle just mentioned, return, several new wildfires sparked across Southern California yesterday. Fortunately, firefighters tamed the flames before any real damage could be done. It comes as some people in Los Angeles are returning to their homes for the first time in weeks to see what's left. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz has more.
Firefighters racing to put out multiple brush fires igniting across Southern California. The Friar Fire in San Diego threatening a mall and several homes after the Lilac Fire forced evacuations. And now, 2 weeks after the devastating Eaton and Palisades fires in L.A. County, FEMA saying it has received more than 97,000 claims. Some families are finally able to return to see what's left of their homes, including two we met last week, the Edwards family in Altadena and the Andonians in the Pacific Palisades.
My heart was beating. I knew that it's going to be difficult. There are no words you can explain. You know, you have to feel it on your skin. You have to feel it in your mind.
In Altadena, Maria and Craig Edwards are seeing what was their home of 30 years.
This is a lot. It's like somebody hit you in your stomach. They gave you a big punch in the gut. This is a lot to take.
Since the fires, the couple has bounced between a hotel and 2 Airbnbs. They've submitted claims to their insurance, the state-created FAIR plan, but have yet to receive any funds.
Trying to find an apartment and paying rent and paying a mortgage is just going to be a little tough. A lot of tough.
Sifting through the rubble, they found one thing miraculously untouched.
What's in that jewelry box? Oh my God, is that your ring?
Oh my God, this is it. Found it. Thank you, Lord.
Maria's wedding ring.
But I know we're going to get through this. We have to get through this.
Small signs giving hope when so much is lost.
And President Trump is likely to visit Los Angeles on Friday to tour the destruction here. This comes as rain is now in the forecast this weekend, raising concerns about mudslides with all this debris. Back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you so much.
We have a lot more to get to here on Morning News Now, including a possible break in a series of burglaries targeting pro athletes, what we've learned about a string of arrests, and what investigators allegedly found in one of the suspects' cars.
But first, as President Trump lifts sanctions on West Bank settlers, new anti-Palestinian violence has flared in the Middle East. We have the latest next.
We're back with the latest in the Middle East. The Israeli military is back on the offensive in the West Bank just 3 days after the Gaza ceasefire took effect. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launched a large-scale military operation in a Palestinian city that's in the Israeli-occupied West Bank on Tuesday. The IDF is calling the counterterrorism operation Iron Wall. The Palestinian Health Ministry said at least 10 people were killed and 40 injured in the city.
This comes just one day after President Trump signed an executive order lifting sanctions enacted by the Biden administration on groups of Israeli settlers accused of violence against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. Trump also said he was not confident the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas would last.
NBC News correspondent Danielle Hamamdin joins us now from Jerusalem with more on this. Danielle, good morning. Just what more can you tell us about Israel's offensive in the West Bank and what kind of impact this could have on the ceasefire deal with Hamas?
Well, they seem to be, for now, two different stories. The city of Jenin, and specifically the refugee camp, the Jenin refugee camp in the West Bank, has a particular significance, and it's worth providing a bit of context to viewers. To the Israeli government, this place is a hotbed of terrorists. Among the factions roaming around there is Islamic Jihad, backed by Iran, and Israel says they have a growing arsenal of weapons. Among Palestinians, they will see the fighters in Jenin as they see this place as ground zero for the resistance against the military occupation of the West Bank. And I've spoken to these fighters before. They'll tell you whatever weapons they can get their hands on, they will use them against the IDF so long as the occupation is in place. We've seen raids very regularly since October 7th, but in the past 48 hours, it seems, the defense minister here in Israel says that they've learned from their lessons trying to clear Hamas in Gaza, only to see them reestablish and regroup. And so they're applying those lessons to Jenin. So far, at least 10 people have been killed, at least 40 people have been injured. Now, this, as you mentioned, coincides with the ceasefire, with the release of Palestinian detainees back on Sunday. But I asked one Palestinian leader, Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, why are we seeing this now? There are more checkpoints in place. There's a surge in violence by Israeli settlers. And his belief is that this is Israel preparing for the annexation of the West Bank under an incoming or a Trump administration now in place under Donald Trump, who will give Israel the green light to do just that, annex the West Bank, something that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Joe.
Danielle, Israel's top military chief announced yesterday that he will resign in March. What's behind that decision? Why is he doing it now?
Well, in fact, since October 7th, he had said on multiple occasions that he would step down because he wanted to take responsibility for the failures of October 7th. His last day will be on March 6th, just a few days after the end of the first stage. And he said that there had been significant achievements and that the ceasefire was now being implemented. And so the timing was now right. But not everybody will see it that way, of course, Savannah. They see the images of Hamas fighters parading and celebrating on Sunday after the ceasefire was announced. And so that did not go down very well with many people here in Israel. But now you've got the opposition calling for Benjamin Netanyahu and his government to also step down. And just a reminder that for months and months and months, Netanyahu was being accused by many, including the family members of the hostages, of delaying the end of the war because he did not want to have to step down, knowing that there would be an inquiry, a commission into the failures of October 7th. And he, of course, was the prime minister at the time, and he still is, but it happened under his watch. Savannah.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much.
Well, later today, a landmark civil rights case is set to be argued before the Supreme Court. Justices will hear a Texas case that could make it easier or harder to hold police officers accountable for using excessive force. The case revolves around a deadly officer-involved shooting of a black man back in 2016. It was captured on a patrol car dash cam. A warning, the video we are about to play is disturbing.
It shows the moments before a Harris County deputy shot and killed 24-year-old Ashtion Barnes after pulling him over during a routine traffic stop. Take a look. Barnes appears to drive away shortly after the deputy opened the door to his car. Central to the outcome of this case, exactly what happened during those seconds prior to his killing, and an evaluation of something that's called the moment of threat doctrine.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News senior Supreme Court reporter Lawrence Hurley. Lawrence, thanks for joining us. So, I mean, it seems there's more to this story than what we're just able to see or hear in that dash cam video. Walk us through what allegedly happened in 2016 and tell us why Barnes was pulled over in the first place.
Right. So, as you said, this started out as a routine traffic stop. The officer received information that the car that Barnes was driving had some outstanding toll violations because this incident took place on a toll road. So he pulled him over as a routine traffic stop. It started out kind of normal. They asked questions, and then it sort of started to go astray when the officer asked for driving license, and Barnes said he didn't have it on him, said it might be in the trunk of the car. And then things escalated when Barnes, according to the officer, then restarted the car and started to drive off. And then the officer jumped up on the car door sill as the car was moving, and then he fired his gun twice into Barnes and killed him at the scene. So that's what the facts are before the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and I guess the facts before the grand jury. At the time, the grand jury didn't find enough evidence to indict the deputy, Roberto Felix, with murder or any assault charges. The separate civil rights claim was dismissed based on what's called this moment of threat doctrine. Tell us what that is, and then why the Supreme Court is taking up this case now, nearly a decade later.
Right, so as we're looking back at that video, the key issue here is, like, what does a court have to assess when they're deciding whether the officer used excessive force? The moment of the threat doctrine, which is being applied in some courts, including the one that decided this case, says that only the moment when the officer actually decided to use force is the key moment to be assessed, and they decided there was no excessive force. But even some of the judges who decided this below said that although they were bound by that precedent, they actually thought that if you considered some of the previous moments going back a bit further, including the officer's decision to jump onto the sill of the car, instead of just de-escalating the situation and allowing Barnes to just drive off because there was no evidence that he was armed or a danger to anyone, that should be taken into account as well. So the Supreme Court's going to be deciding whether the courts have to kind of consider all those preceding moments before the moment of the force is used. And if that is the case, then that would be a significant win for the plaintiffs.
I mentioned as we were coming to talk to you, Lawrence, it can make this easier or harder in certain cases. What do legal experts think that this impact could be on other cases when police officer misconduct is involved?
Yeah, I mean, one thing to note is that it's extremely difficult for any plaintiffs to ever win these cases, partly because of the defense called qualified immunity, which we've heard a lot about over recent years. But this case could remove at least one obstacle to people being allowed to bring these claims, which would allow the case to move forward and potentially lead to new precedent that says that officers in that situation should be on notice that they can't do that kind of conduct and that they could be lose future civil rights lawsuits and not be protected by qualified immunity if they do it again in the future. So in that sense, it's quite significant.
Lawrence Hurley, thank you so much. Coming up, new research is shedding light on the effects of processed meat on brain health.
Our own Dr. Kavita Patel is in for your medical check-in. We'll chat with her next. We're back now with our weekly medical checkup. This week, we are exploring the effects of eating processed meats. New research finds that consuming less of it may protect your brain.
Plus, we're also going to talk about how you can best share your health data with your doctor.
NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel joins us now to discuss some of these health headlines. Dr. Patel, good morning. Good to see you. So let's start with this study that was published in the journal Neurology that found people who eat processed red meats may have a higher risk of dementia. So how much processed meat do we have to eat to be at this higher risk? What kinds of meat are we talking about?
Yeah, Joe and Savannah, we're all guilty of this. And this is one of the first studies that looked at over 133,000 patients over 43 years and monitored their diet and eating habits and whether they had any associations with brain decline or dementia. And here's the punchline. Even small daily amounts can put you as high as a 14% risk for dementia. What's a small amount? 2 bacon slices, 1.5 slices of bologna, or 1 hot dog. That's one of each of those. So not much can get you at a much higher risk compared to people who didn't. And even lower amounts of that, let's say 1 bacon slice, let's say half a hot dog, can actually accelerate your brain aging by up to 1.6 years for one of these surveys. So the doctor's orders here are pretty clear. Try to save it for a special occasion. I'm going to have to do this with my kids because I think I just served them some of this last night. Swap it out for nuts, beans, or fish, even if you can make small swaps just to make those changes. And this is probably in association with the processing and the high sodium, which could lead to other diseases. That's what really the scientists think is going on here, but all very important when thinking about your diet and processed meat.
Wow, those are some scary stats as someone who really loves a hot dog, apparently more often than I should. Okay, Dr. Patel, the next one here, a review of studies in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. It found that physical fitness is linked to a lower risk of death after a cancer diagnosis. We know fitness is important. We know staying on this, there's always new studies that prove how much it can do for you, but what's this link here?
Right. So this is what we call one of those study of studies. They included 42 high-quality studies, which covered about 47,000 people, and tried to really look at an association of fitness level while undergoing cancer treatment or dealing with a cancer diagnosis. And they really assessed fitness in 2 simple ways. Grip strength, that's to really look at muscular strength, Savannah. And then for the cardiorespiratory fitness, they looked at what we call a 6-minute walk test, where you put people through about 6 minutes of walking and kind of look at various fitness levels during that test. And here's really what they found is that the higher your muscular strength and cardiorespiratory fitness were, the lower your risk of death from cancer. And now, of course, there's limits to this. You can overdo things, and that can take its toll on your muscles. But probably a happy medium of finding some muscular strength and fitness together can boost your chances of survival while dealing with cancer. The doctor's orders here, try to be proactive in talking to your doctor. Whenever I tell patients anything with the word cancer, everything stops. So do this over a course of several visits, in my opinion, and get your family involved. And then ask for an exercise prescription. And don't be afraid to say that you want to try to look at muscular fitness and cardio fitness together.
I like that idea right there. All right, here's one that affects so many people. There's a survey from Ohio State University found many Americans, while they use those devices like their watches to monitor their health, very few actually share the data with their doctors. Tell us about this and why that's important, especially what type of data you should be sharing.
Yeah, guilty as charged. I think I've got all of these devices. I'm not sure I'm using them all effectively myself, but this is a survey of over about 1,000 people. 2/3 of them, Joe, reported that they use some sort of device. The most common device that they use is a smartwatch. People are also using smart blood pressure cuffs, and they're using their good old-fashioned phone, looking at their steps or doing other things. So, but only 1 in 4 of those people that use a device share any of that data with their doctor. Lots of different reasons for this, probably. But the bottom line here, the doctor's orders, try to pay attention to those drops and spikes. You know, sometimes we're overwhelmed by data. Look for the highs and lows, share those trends with your doctor, and then think about what to do if your heart rate or your rhythm seems off. Don't wait till you can get in with a doctor. Try to be proactive and call someone, reach out to your doctor's office and let them know. Most of us have the capability to upload some of this data and be able to look at it ourselves.
And it's incredible how many things those devices can flag these days. All right, Dr. Kavita Patel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, the FDA has expanded approval of a nasal spray treatment for certain kinds of depression. It's called Spravato and contains the active ingredients of the drug ketamine. It is designed for adults suffering from what's known as treatment-resistant depression. That's when a patient has tried at least 2 standard treatments with little to no improvement. Previously, the spray could only be used alongside oral antidepressants, which can have side effects, but the agency has now cleared it to be used on its own.
Now to a potential breakthrough in the investigation into that nationwide burglary scheme targeting pro athletes. Authorities in Ohio charged 4 suspects who might be connected to a string of thefts against some high-profile stars. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa has the latest.
After months of brazen burglaries at the homes of pro athletes, a possible break in the case of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Ohio's Attorney General confirming 4 Chilean nationals today were indicted on charges of participating in a criminal gang and engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity. Court documents stating authorities found in their SUV an old LSU shirt and Bengals hat believed to be stolen from a December burglary, seemingly referring to the one at Burrow's home, though he was not named and authorities declined to give more details. The documents state the men had been under surveillance, and the arrests came amid an ongoing investigation involving burglaries of multi-million-dollar homes in multiple states. Authorities not specifying whether that refers to break-ins at the homes of other pro athletes, including Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, all during games, often on the road. Burrow tonight not returning NBC News' request for comment, but telling reporters last month,
"We live a public life. Doesn't make it any easier to deal with."
A senior U.S. official briefed on the matter, saying the FBI warned against athletes displaying valuables on social media, adding the burglaries are likely driven by South American organized theft groups. Orange County, California District Attorney Todd Spitzer estimating authorities there have made roughly 100 arrests in the last 2 years.
These are incredibly sophisticated jobs.
They use Wi-Fi jammers, police scanner jammers. They survey our homes, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Our thanks to Maggie Vespa for that report. NBC News has reached out to the attorney who represents all 4 of the men arrested in Ohio. We have not heard back.
Well, day 2 of jury selection gets underway today in the trial of rapper A$AP Rocky in Los Angeles. Rocky, whose legal name is Rakim Mayers, is accused of firing a gun at a former friend near a Hollywood hotel back in 2021. The rapper turned down a plea deal yesterday that included 6 months behind bars, 3 years probation if he pled guilty to one of the 2 assault charges against him. If convicted, A$AP Rocky could face up to 24 years in prison. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas has more on the story.
It's a big year for A$AP Rocky. Rihanna's partner and father of her 2 children looking to stretch his range, co-chairing the 2025 Met Gala alongside Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, LeBron James, and Pharrell Williams. A leading role in a new Spike Lee joint expected to be out this summer. And don't forget his original art form, music.
Shoot my shot, got it wet. Bet that's so net, girl, that's ready.
With a new album set to come out this year after months of delays. But the big question, will it all be derailed by the 36-year-old's criminal trial? He's charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and faces up to 24 years in prison. Accused of shooting at someone who says he once considered Rocky a close childhood friend. Terrell Efron testifying their relationship coming to a head in November 2021 when prosecutors allege Rocky, a.k.a. Rakim Mayers, shot at Efron outside a Hollywood hotel 3 or 4 times, grazing his knuckles. The trial getting started in L.A., A$AP Rocky pleading not guilty. His attorney says Rocky did not commit a crime.
I am certain Rocky is going to be vindicated when all this is said and done, without question.
Look familiar? That's Joe Tacopina, who represented now President Trump during writer E. Jean Carroll's defamation and sexual abuse lawsuit against Trump.
I mean, look, strange verdict.
That's not where the Trump-Rocky connection ends. Back in 2019, President Trump intervened in an assault case against A$AP Rocky in Sweden. A special presidential envoy sending a letter to prosecutors, warning of potentially negative consequences to U.S.-Swedish relations if the case wasn't resolved ASAP.
I have been called by so many people asking me to help A$AP Rocky.
And Rocky was released following a guilty verdict after spending over a month in a Swedish detention center. Legal proceedings taking place in an LA County court. In a rare move, cameras will be there throughout. And the question of whether Rihanna will show up at the trial to support her longtime partner, still unclear. The judge saying at an October hearing, making a nod to her fame, she's welcome to be here whenever she wants. I'd just like to know. Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Coming up, President Trump and the First Lady have both issued crypto meme coins that could make them billions of dollars.
But the move is raising ethics concerns, why critics are sounding the alarm. Up next. We're back with a new financial endeavor by President Trump. In the past, he expressed opposition to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but now Mr. Trump has launched his own meme coin.
NBC News Now anchor Hallie Jackson explains what it is and why it's raising ethical concerns.
From a crypto ball before the inauguration featuring Snoop Dogg to a new crypto task force just launched by the SEC, supporters of the digital currency are hoping the president's promised golden age extends to them.
The reign of terror against crypto is over.
And now, after using his Trump brand to sell everything from steaks and vodka to sneakers and Bibles, the president promoting his company's newly launched Trump meme coin.
I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful.
Those tokens, usually pegged to internet trends or celebrity endorsers, holding only the value traders put in it. At one point, the Trump coin rocketing from $6.50 to more than $72, trading closer to $45 a coin. A similar coin named for Melania.
There was this promise that Trump would usher in a time of at least thoughtful debate. What the concern now is that launching a meme coin is one of those corners of crypto that is taken less seriously.
And ethics experts concerned about conflicts of interest and the Trump family enriching themselves off these coins.
He has the power now not only to be making money, but he's actually going to be in position to be making determinations around that entire sector.
I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
For the president, an evolution from just 3 years ago.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam.
President Trump pointing to the influence of his son, Barron.
Barron knows so much about this. Right. Eric, and Barron's a young guy, but he knows it.
The support so far for crypto, now sending its most widely known currency, Bitcoin, to near record highs. Back to you.
All right, Hallie, thank you.
Let's get you more money news this morning. United Airlines is seeing sunnier skies as a post-pandemic travel boom rolls on.
CNBC's Savannah now has that and some other money news. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. Yes, so shares of United Airlines are jumping as the carrier reported strong fourth quarter results. Now, United capitalizing on consumers' desire to vacation, adding 1,500 flights to sunny destinations and 30% more seats to popular ski markets. Now, the company's setting a record for the number of passengers flown during a single quarter, and United expects that demand to continue through the early part of this year. The head of the European Central Bank says the continent must be ready for possible trade tariffs from President Trump. The president has threatened to impose tariffs on imports from the EU, telling reporters the region has been very, very bad to us. Christine Lagarde telling CNBC the fact Trump didn't announce universal tariffs on his first day was a smart approach, and she expects them to be more selective and focused. And Meta is working to upgrade its popular smart glasses, including with a new Oakley-branded device for athletes. Bloomberg reports Meta is also exploring other wearable devices, such as watches and earbuds equipped with cameras. Meta currently sells Ray-Ban glasses that have cameras, microphones, and other technology that can take pictures, analyze your environment, play music, and even handle calls, guys.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
The Baseball Hall of Fame has announced its latest inductees, honoring legends who made an unforgettable impact on the MLB. Perhaps the most notable on the list is Ichiro Suzuki, the Japanese sensation, now the first Asian player ever elected into the Hall of Fame. He dominated the voting, falling just one vote shy of being the second unanimous selection ever. Who didn't vote for Ichiro? Also in the class of 2025, starting pitcher CC Sabathia and relief pitcher Billy Wagner. They'll be enshrined in baseball history forever during the ceremony in Cooperstown, New York, this coming July. Congrats to all them.
All right, coming up, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah, it may look like just a ratty piece of paper, but to one Bob Dylan superfan, it was worth $500,000. We'll explain why next.
Finally this hour, these ordinary-looking, old-looking, I guess, sheets of paper are actually an original draft of lyrics for Bob Dylan's chart topper, Mr. Tambourine Man.
They were sold at a Nashville auction earlier this week for more than $500,000 after they were rescued from an unlikely place. NBC's Ann Thompson has the story.
On stained and torn pages, rough drafts of a folk rock classic.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me.
Lyrics to Mr. Tambourine Man. Made famous by the Byrds. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Written by Bob Dylan.
Hey, Mr. West.
Sold at auction this week for $508,000.
In the jingle jangle morning, I come following you.
Rescued from a kitchen trash can by rock journalist Al Aronowitz decades ago.
They were friends. I was 8 years old at that time.
Al's son Miles remembers Dylan staying overnight at their New Jersey home.
That morning in probably March of 1964, my father found the lyric sheets crumbled up and thrown into the trash can. Just took it out and smoothed it out and put it in a folder and forgot about it.
The 2 yellow pages found recently by Miles' wife, now part of a Dylan renaissance. There's the movie A Complete Unknown, and now this auction of memorabilia, including the lyrics, raking in over $1.5 million. Dylan wrote, "Treasure can't be found by men who search." This time it was. Ann Thompson, NBC News.
Bob Dylan having a moment right now, once again.
Yeah, really.
This hour, morning news now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, a brutal split screen of winter weather pummeling millions of Americans along the Gulf Coast. Mother Nature dropping nearly a foot of snow in some spots, providing a much different kind of beach blanket for those in northern Florida. Well, that bitter cold snap could bring the coldest day of the year to the Northeast and the Midwest. We are tracking it all in just a moment. In Washington, the mounting backlash against President Trump over an executive order eruption that is defining the very first of his first 100 days back in the Oval Office. From pardoning those January 6 rioters, now placing all federal DEI workers on paid leave, promising to end those programs. Got the latest as the role of AI and big tech in Trump's new administration come into clearer focus. Speaking of big tech, more streaming strife this morning. Netflix is hiking up prices yet again. We're digging into what it might mean for your wallet and how you can keep all those monthly subscription costs under control. And in the aftermath of those devastating Southern California wildfires, a group of moms from across the nation banding together to help complete strangers who lost it all. The acts of kindness not stopping at all right now in Southern California.
Not at all. Amazing to see.
Let's start this hour with the latest on the brutal winter weather that's being blamed for at least 4 deaths across the country. Today could be the coldest day of the year for tens of millions of Americans. Much of the Midwest is experiencing temperatures in the single digits.
Down south, the storm has dumped nearly a foot of snow in some parts of the region, impacting roads, airports, and schools, and in some places where they're not used to this. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson is in Houston. They received an unprecedented 5 inches of snow. Look at that behind her. She joins us with the latest. Hey, Priscilla, good morning.
Yeah, Savannah, good morning. Hard to believe we're in Houston right now. Some of the snow has melted, but you can still see there's a lot of it out here. And I want to show you where the concern is turning today. So just take a look at my feet here. This looks like slushy snow, but it is actually ice. So it has started to ice over here. And that is the concern on the roadways today, on the sidewalks as people are out and about. And so it's why officials are urging people to stay home and off the roads. This morning, snow and dangerous cold still has much of the South in an icy grip. Rare blizzard conditions blasting Louisiana, trapping this semi-truck. The storm also dumping a record-breaking 10 inches of snow in parts of the state, covering palm trees and closing highways, and causing a rare sight in New Orleans. Its iconic Bourbon Street blanketed in snow, like much of the Gulf Coast, from Mississippi to Alabama. And no sunshine in parts of northern Florida, including Pensacola, where sandy shorelines transformed into rare snow-covered beaches.
We're not necessarily used to walking in a winter wonderland here in Florida.
In Texas, the Houston area getting as much as 4 inches of snow.
Snow angels in Houston, that's
unheard of. after a 2021 winter storm left residents without power for days, many there hoping the grid will keep heaters running and pipes from bursting.
Are we preparing for like just a one-day storm, or are we about to not have water for a week?
Airports up and down the coast back up and running today after the harsh winter weather caused thousands of cancellations and delays Tuesday. But officials urging drivers not to hit the road just yet.
We're not done yet. This incident is not over yet. We got to wait just a little bit longer.
And hunkering down at home may not be so bad. For many Houstonians, including Houston's police and fire departments, a rare chance to enjoy a taste of winter in their own backyard. So certainly lots of people enjoying that snow yesterday. But today, the mayor here in Houston says that this 24 hours is likely going to be the most dangerous because of that ice. But the bit of good news is that it does look like temperatures are going to be above freezing. They had previously been projected to be below freezing. So that could help with some of this ice melting, especially as the sun comes out. Joe, Savannah.
All right, Priscilla, thanks so much. Stay warm.
Seems like a good time to check in with meteorologist Michelle Grossman.
Yeah, she has the latest on those rare winter scenes and everything else you need to know for your Wednesday forecast. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Hey there, guys. Great to see you. And yeah, we are still talking about that storm. It brought double digits in some spots. It's going to go down in history for sure. Right now, it's moving off the coast. For the most part, we're just seeing some leftover rain. Some is heavy. We're looking at the brighter colors. That's where we're seeing the heaviest rain. But notice the snow. Most of it is now over the Atlantic. We have a little bit in eastern North Carolina. That's going to linger for a bit. That could bring up to a ½ inch to an inch in additional snow, but that would be about it. It's moving off the coast and will continue to move off to the east. So this is what we're looking at for today, that area of low pressure bringing those showers, especially across central and southern Florida throughout this Wednesday. Otherwise, it is still all about the cold. We're going to see dangerous air in place once again. It's already here. It's been here for days, and it will be here for a few more days before we start to moderate to more January-like temperatures. 160 million people impacted by winter alerts. I don't know if you remember yesterday, though, but these alerts were all the way close to the west. So we're starting to drop a few. We're starting to moderate in some places. But we're still looking at extreme cold warnings. That is in dark pink here. So scattered throughout portions of the Ohio Valley into the Appalachians, the Mid-Atlantic, down throughout portions of the Gulf Coast. We're going to have a really cold morning tomorrow. Could see some record-breaking temperatures tomorrow morning. There's that Arctic blast. Temperatures, daytime highs 10, 20, 30 degrees below what is typical for this time of year. So we're talking teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. And just notice how far down these cold temperatures go. So today in New Orleans, that snow will stay in place because we're looking at 31 degrees. And I saw some video yesterday of Tulane students in like their tank tops and their shorts out and about in the snow, enjoying that as a college student. Hopefully they have that warm gear ready today. 37 in Panama City. Charleston, we're looking at 36. And New York City, we're cold once again, 21 degrees. That's about 16 degrees below what is typical for this time of year. That is today. Then as we wake up tomorrow morning, you really need to layer up, especially if you're in the Gulf Coast area, especially not being part of being used to this, because we're looking at temperatures in the 20s, wind chills right around 20 degrees in Pensacola, the wind chill in parts of Florida, also looking at 20s as well. And notice we're looking at teens, waking up to teens in D.C. The wind chill there is going to be 13 and Boston just 6 degrees. So that Arctic blast does stay in place tomorrow. We have a gradual warm up. I'll show you Louisville because I feel like that's going to be the biggest one there. 43 degrees. Memphis by Saturday, 50 degrees. 48 in Atlanta. Looking better there. Still cold, though, in New York City. Also in Pittsburgh, we're looking at 30 degrees on Saturday. Still below freezing there as well as Friday. So that's a big weather story today. We're also looking at another big weather story that continues and will continue because the Santa Ana wind staying in place, this pattern at least. We're looking at fire risk, not quite as high as yesterday. That's going to increase once again today. So we're going to see the winds relax a bit today. And unfortunately, this big area of high pressure comes in over the Rockies, and that's going to bring up those winds once again.
Just an ongoing battle there.
It is, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, let's turn now to Washington, where President Trump is facing backlash over a whole host of executive orders he's signed on his return to office. Among those, his sweeping pardons of January 6th rioters and his push to overhaul the nation's immigration system. Now he's ordering all federal workers in diversity, equity, and inclusion roles to be placed on paid leave. NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake joins us with the latest. Hey, Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning to you. And yeah, President Trump advancing his project of reshaping the federal government overnight with several new actions meant to ultimately eliminate diversity programs at federal agencies. And his administration is ramping up its immigration actions and facing lawsuits from Democratic state AGs. But it's that decision to offer those massive sweeping pardons of people convicted of January 6 related crimes that continues to have the most controversial impact.
This morning, the fallout from President Trump's first actions in office, including new pardons, hitting Washington. As overnight, the president issued another executive order, placing all federal employees in diversity, equity, and inclusion roles on paid leave, and promising to close all DEI-related programs. But for much of Trump's first day in office, focused on his controversial decision to pardon or commute the sentence of every person convicted of a crime related to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The move encompassing those convicted of violent crimes, including electroshocking police officers, dragging them through the Capitol, and assaulting them with chemical spray, metal barriers, and their own equipment. Overnight, two top police organizations, including the powerful Fraternal Order of Police, which endorsed Trump, condemning the pardons and commutations, writing, quote, "It devalues the sacrifices made by courageous law enforcement and sends a dangerous message." The president asked by NBC's Peter Alexander about one defendant, DJ Rodriguez, who pleaded guilty for assaulting D.C. police officer Michael Fanone with a stun gun and was sentenced to 12 years in prison.
Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes and we're looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything.
On Morning Joe today, Fanone running through a list of those who pled guilty to attacking him as he seeks protective orders.
Daniel Rodriguez, sentenced to more than 12 years in prison after he pled guilty and admitted to using a taser device, applying it to the base of my skull.
As Republicans on Capitol Hill were questioned about the move.
The president's own decision.
Some expressing hesitation on the inclusion of violent offenders.
To me, I just can't agree. It was surprising to me that it was a blanket pardon.
The Bureau of Prisons releasing 211 individuals in approximately 12 hours. Among those pardoned, former Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes.
I think it's a good day for America.
And former Proud Boys head Enrique Tarrio. Both were serving lengthy sentences for seditious conspiracy.
Now, this comes as at least 24 states have now filed lawsuits over the president's attempt to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. A day one executive order now destined for lengthy legal battles that'll begin tomorrow with the first hearing in Seattle. Savannah?
All right, Garrett, thank you.
Now, in addition to all those orders Garrett just laid out, President Trump also provided more details on his economic plan, specifically trade.
Yeah, just yesterday, Mr. Trump said he was considering imposing a 10% tariff on Chinese imports. A day before that, he said 25% tariffs could be imposed on Canada and on Mexico. He added that all of these tariffs could be introduced as early as February 1st.
Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver is here to talk more about this with us. All right, so we should know China's already come out today and said there are no winners in trade wars and tariffs. Talk about why the president is making an argument for these tariffs and what the impact of this could be. I mean, most experts say that we will see some level of inflation and higher costs, just the average American, right?
Sure. Tariffs are inflationary by nature, especially when you think about what we import from these countries. We're their biggest trading partner. From Canada, we're getting timber, we're getting natural gas, we're getting cars and trucks. From Mexico, we're getting produce, we're getting cars, trucks, and electronics. These are big-ticket items, about $2 trillion worth of trade. Trump also saying he wants to renegotiate the United States-Mexico trade agreement sooner than 2026 when it is up for renegotiation. Why is he doing this? He's saying he wants to use tariffs to make these companies limit the fentanyl imports and the illegal immigrants that are coming in from these countries. That's what he's using as the sort of sword for that. And they are inflationary by nature. Right now, they're threats, but you can see companies, CEOs trying to react and seeing where this is all going, because if there are tariffs, it's going to make everything they import a lot more expensive. They pass those costs on to us, the consumer.
Caleb, let's talk cryptocurrencies. This one, I know it's kind of confusing, can make people's heads spin, but it's notable now that both the president and his wife have launched their own meme coins. That's what they're called. Explain what that is and why there are ethics concerns around this.
Yeah, a meme coin is basically a crypto token that is not backed by any dollar, not backed by a store of value, but it is tied to the association to the name Trump or Melania in this case. Her meme coin not doing as well as the president's right now, but he's talking about creating a crypto task force through the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is very interesting. Cryptocurrencies are not regulated by the chief regulator in Washington, but now it looks like they might be. He wants to develop a clear regulatory framework for crypto assets. What does that mean? They're going to be regulated by the big watchdog on Wall Street, which means they might be more available and attractive to individual investors who have not wanted to go near cryptocurrency because of lack of regulation. On the other hand, the whole ecosystem was developed without government oversight, a very interesting spot in cryptocurrency.
We should note in the past, Trump was not a supporter of the crypto market. Now he wants to see more policies that benefit the market. I mean, what do you make of his increasingly pro-crypto stance? And just for the average investor, what should they know about some of the risks that come with this?
Yeah, again, these are not backed by dollars, by gold. These are cryptocurrencies. Really, they trade based on the belief that they're going to trade higher by the next person. So by putting these into the SEC's framework and developing rules around them, it might make it a little safer for investors to feel like, maybe I will buy some of these, because cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, have been rallying very strong since the election, and especially over the last couple of days.
Let's talk energy policies. Between drill, baby, drill, and this pulling us out once again of the Paris Climate Agreement, how could that impact Americans?
Yeah, well, he's talking about filling the strategic petroleum reserves to the brim, making sure that we are producing as much oil as we need in this country. Guess what? We already do that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of oil and gas in this country, but he wants to limit the imports. He's already pulled out, or said he'll pull out of the Paris Climate Accord that keeps temperatures, supposedly temperatures down below 1.5 degrees Celsius from rising every year. But there's rolling back of a lot of regulations around drilling, around logging, especially in the Arctic Reserve. So a lot of deregulation means a lot more production here in the U.S. Could drive prices down for consumers, but prices have been pretty low. Oil and gas prices really about supply and demand globally, but he wants it all made in America.
All right, Caleb, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, as President Trump ramps up work on his agenda, he's surrounding himself with quite a different team than he did 8 years ago, tapping many MAGA loyalists and some tech titans to be in his inner circle. NBC's Hallie Jackson has a look.
A second Trump term, starting with an inner circle that looks almost nothing like the first. This time, the president set to be surrounded by loyal supporters of his MAGA movement. Some, like his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, former foes.
We cannot elect someone who's trying to carry out a con job.
Turned friends, or at least followers of the Trump doctrine. Others, longtime allies, like Pam Bondi, one of Mr. Trump's impeachment lawyers, selected to serve as Attorney General, echoing his criticism of the Justice Department as politicized.
They targeted Donald Trump. They went after him.
Mr. Trump, comfortable with controversy, and that's reflected in cabinet picks like Pete Hegseth, the former Fox News host, facing questions about his qualifications to run the world's most expensive military, and about allegations of sexual assault, which he denies, and alcohol abuse, which he dismisses.
Anonymous smears.
And then there's Kash Patel, chosen to lead the FBI, who's published names of people he calls the deep state in what critics call an enemies list. Patel, along with former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard, who may serve as Director of National Intelligence, and hedge fund manager Scott Bessent, tapped as Treasury Secretary, will need to be confirmed by the Senate, as will all of Mr. Trump's cabinet picks, including Linda McMahon, former WWE exec and one of the few cabinet holdovers from Mr. Trump's first administration, now tapped to run the Education Department, which the president wants to dismantle altogether. But other members of Mr. Trump's inner circle will influence policy without needing the Senate's sign-off, including hardline architect of Mr. Trump's immigration policy, Stephen Miller. The president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, led his winning campaign and could serve as a steady hand in a job that turned over 4 times in Mr. Trump's first term. And big-name tech billionaires who have embraced Mr. Trump, now set to serve as informal advisors. Chief among them, Elon Musk, who's become a close confidant, the world's richest man looking to cut trillions from the federal budget.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Unlike 8 years ago, the Trump family is not expected to play as publicly prominent a part. The president's oldest daughter, Ivanka, who once had an office in the West Wing, says she's done with politics and doesn't plan to come back. Her husband, Jared Kushner, also not expected to take a formal role. And while Eric and Donald Trump Jr. stayed out of the White House in 2017, they stayed close to the campaign in 2024. Not just sons, but surrogates.
But he knew he had to run if there was any chance at saving America.
Don Jr., an early champion of Vice President J.D. Vance, another former Trump skeptic turned supporter, now a potential successor to the MAGA movement.
Sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump.
Thanks to Hallie Jackson for that report. And there, of course, J.D. Vance set to work side by side with President Trump. for the next 4 years. There's much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now. After the break, tarnished dreams, why some Paris Olympians are actually returning their medals just a few months after the games closed.
Up first, though, Prince Harry's tabloid tussle now settled. We've got the details on a new deal with one of the UK's biggest newspaper empires. That's next. Welcome back. A little earlier, there was a dramatic development in Prince Harry's high-stakes legal battle against Rupert Murdoch's UK newspaper empire. The Duke of Sussex has agreed to settle the lawsuit. Prince Harry had claimed that News Group newspapers used phone hacking and other illegal techniques to gather information. Well, in court this morning, the company issued a full apology to the Duke for the, quote, serious intrusion by the Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for the Sun. NBC News international correspondent Megan Fitzgerald joins us now from London's High Court. Megan, good morning. Huge development. I mean, yesterday this trial kept getting delayed. It later emerged the delay was due to these settlement talks. Now both sides have accepted a deal. So what do we know about what they've agreed to?
Joe, good morning to you. Look, this is huge for Prince Harry. I mean, this is exactly what he wanted. I mean, remember, we're talking about a more than decade-long crusade here where Prince Harry was trying to bring justice, trying to get justice from the British tabloids that intruded into his personal life using these illegal tactics, as he said, then to gather this information and publish it for the world to see. So this was a huge win for him today. We know that he settled also for an amount of money and an exorbitant amount of money, a significant amount of money, which has not been disclosed. But again, what he wanted was the admittance here of wrongdoing, and that is precisely what he got. We heard from his attorneys shortly after news broke about this settlement, and I want you to hear a little bit of what they had to say.
The truth that has now been exposed is that News Group newspapers unlawfully engaged more than 100 private investigators over at least 16 years on more than 35,000 occasions. This happened as much at The Sun as it did at the News of the World, with the knowledge of all the editors and executives going to the very top of the company.
Now, you know, his attorney said, look, this is not the end. They're also calling on London police to open an investigation into criminal activity. So this is certainly something that we will continue to follow, Joe. You know,
and Megan, we know previously Prince Harry had said that one of the main reasons for seeing this case through was accountability. And this apology from the Sun's owner is not just to him. It also mentions his late mother, Princess Diana. Tell us more about that.
Joe, you're absolutely right. I mean, we are talking about an unprecedented apology by the Sun, you know, and like I said, something that Harry has been after for more than a decade now. And so, in fact, I want to read for you some of the statement that was issued by the newspaper group. They say, NGN further apologizes to the Duke for the impact on him of the extensive coverage and serious intrusion into his private life, as well as the life of Diana, Princess of Wales, his late mother, in particular, during his younger years. I mean, it really just can't be overstated just how significant this is. This is a very personal matter for him, deeply personal, because as you know, the tabloids really hounded not only Prince Harry and his family, but his mother, certainly leading up to the moments of her death. So this is very significant in so many ways, and exactly what he wanted. It's not about that significant amount of money that he won. It's more so about the acknowledgement of what the tabloids put him and his family through.
And Megan, let's quickly talk about what happens next. Could this have any impact on another case Prince Harry has pending against the publisher of another British newspaper, that one, the Daily Mail?
You know, Joe, it's a great question, and that's most certainly something that we're going to be watching. There's a number of high-profile celebrities that are also suing the Daily Mail. That is a case that is set to go to trial early next year. But given what we saw today, will it continue to proceed? That's something that we will be looking at closely.
Megan, thank you so much, Megan.
Excuse my sneezing. That was me. Couldn't hold it in, even though we're on set. All right, the Olympic medals awarded last summer in Paris seem to be losing some of their shine.
Yeah, more than 100 athletes have returned their medals, complaining about signs of rust and deterioration. NBC News correspondent Kaylee Hartung has more on this. Kaylee, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. An Olympic medal represents the pinnacle of an athlete's career. They symbolize the highest levels of achievement and quality. But the medals awarded at the Paris Games have not lived up to that same standard.
Olympic medals, maybe gotta step up the quality a little bit.
The shine wearing off Olympic medals awarded in Paris.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It is wearing a little bit.
The New York Times reporting more than 100 athletes from the 2024 Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games have returned their hard-earned hardware, asking for the medals to be repaired or replaced. Some complaining about the deterioration within days of the Games, like Team USA skateboarding star Nyjah Houston.
They're apparently not as high quality as you would think. It's looking rough.
Experts believe the problem appears to be a last-minute change to the varnish used to protect the medals.
It was just a failure to properly test this particular varnish and see how it holds up.
A side-by-side comparison of Tokyo and Paris gold medals shows a more dull finish to the newer medal, but the tarnish most apparent on 2024's bronze medals. According to the International Olympic Committee, bronze medals are made from an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc, which experts say makes them susceptible to moisture and sweat. The medals, designed by luxury jeweler Chaumet, were additionally heralded for their novel look, incorporating a piece of steel from the Eiffel Tower. And as Paris 2024 sought to be environmentally friendly, the medals were touted for using recycled materials. But that decision now also called into question.
It is possible that these recycled materials had some foreign elements that just did not hold up, and they're starting to react.
For a country that prides itself on style, quality, and flair, the medal controversy quickly becoming a point of embarrassment.
So the IOC has apologized and says they're working with the National Mint of France, who was responsible for the medal's production. Guys, they say they will replace all damaged medals that athletes report back to them in the coming months.
I think the athletes are like, are these made out of chocolate? What's going on here?
Yeah, don't bite too hard.
Hopefully the new ones last longer.
Yes, you would hope that the varnish that they use this time around can better protect those medals just from, just the handling of them.
Absolutely. Every one that we've seen and met, we're like, can we hold it?
Yes. Thanks, Kaylee.
More international news now. UN experts are urging Thailand not to deport Uyghurs to China.
Claudio Lavanga joins us for a moment with that and more. Claudio, good morning.
Savannah, Joe, good morning. Well, that's absolutely right. The United Nations is urging Thailand not to send back to China 48 Uyghurs over concern for their safety once they get back there. The human rights experts say members of the Muslim ethnic minority have been held in immigration centers in Thailand for more than a decade and may soon be deported back to China, where they say they are at risk of torture, ill treatment, and irreparable harm. Beijing has been often accused of widespread abuse and persecution of Uyghurs who live mainly in the western region of Xinjiang. Let's go to Egypt now, where archaeologists announced several amazing new findings near the city of Luxor. Among the discoveries are ancient rock-cut tombs and burial shafts dating back 3,600 years. Items found at the tombs include bronze coins with the image of Alexander the Great, children's toys made of clay, cartonnage and funerary masks that covered mummies, and pottery tables that were used often to offer bread, wine and meat. Archaeologists say discoveries could reconstruct history. And let's end this tour of the world in Australia and New Zealand, where a cat has become an accidental frequent flyer between the two countries after she was overlooked in a plane cargo. The cat, named Mittens, was booked for a one-way flight with her family from New Zealand to Australia. But once in Melbourne, her owner realized they did not unload her. The airline then realized she was still on board, and on the way back to New Zealand, eventually Mittens was flown back to Australia once again, one last time, where it is rumored that she started The High Meows Club.
Oh.
Or the Meow High Club. It's, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, Claudio. I would be really mad if that were my cat. So.
That cat looked thrilled, though. I'm sure it was really happy. As long as they got the miles for it. That's the most important.
Yeah.
All right. Claudio, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Coming up, an AI controversy hitting Hollywood just as Oscar season is really heating up.
Why the director of The Brutalist is now defending his use of the new tech in the critically acclaimed film, and the brewing debate over whether it's fair game. Stay with us. There is a new development this morning in the ongoing legal battle between actress Blake Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni.
Baldoni's attorney released behind-the-scenes footage from the set of the film showing an exchange between the two stars on set. Both sides have a different take on what that video shows. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas joins us with more on this. Chloe, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, it is the story that just keeps getting more complicated. So here is the latest twist. Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, he has released nearly 10 minutes of footage that Baldoni's legal team says shows that he did nothing inappropriate while filming. But Blake Lively's team is countering that, saying last night that it shows the exact opposite. This footage, which appears in the finished version film It Ends With Us, only in this brief slow-motion montage, appears to show the two stars discussing how to play the scene as they slow dance. Baldoni's team says the 3 takes of this scene, reportedly shot in May 2023, show that what took place on set doesn't match claims of sexual harassment that Lively made in a legal complaint last month. According to the complaint, while filming a slow dance scene, Baldoni was, quote, caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. In the raw footage released by the director's attorney, the two stars can be heard talking about production details while playing to the camera as a couple in love. The complaint says Baldoni, quote, dragged his lips from her ear and down to her neck as he said, "It smells so good." Baldoni's representatives say that the tape proves it didn't happen.
I'm probably getting spray cast too. It smells good. Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
Lively's legal team firing back in a statement, quote, Justin Baldoni and his lawyer may hope that this latest stunt will get ahead of the damaging evidence against him, but the video itself is damning. Lively's representatives say that the footage corroborates her account of what happened, arguing that it shows Baldoni, quote, attempting to kiss her, kissing her forehead, rubbing his face and mouth against her neck, flicking her lip with his thumb, caressing her, telling her how good she smells, and talking with her out of character, adding that no woman should have to take defensive measures to avoid being touched by their employer without their consent. The newly released videos follow a lawsuit filed last week by Baldoni against Lively, her PR team, and husband Ryan Reynolds for defamation and extortion. Lively's legal team calling the lawsuit another chapter in the abuser playbook. A bitter battle where both sides believe the same scene tells a very different story. And if you thought that this was the end, it is not. So Baldoni's team says that they are going to release more behind-the-scenes footage from production along with a website. Now, I've been telling you guys about this website. They say it's coming this week, and it's going to have a trove of emails, letters, text messages between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and other individuals because Baldoni's team really wants the court of public opinion on their side. But again, Blake Lively's team feels like this video vindicates her and shows that he was being inappropriate on set. So people are really split right now. And as you can assume, it's going to get even more messy.
Yes, it seems that way.
Especially if it moves to a courtroom.
Exactly. All right, Chloe, thank you so much. Appreciate it. The debate over the use of AI is now entering the Oscars race. Just days before Academy Award season really kicks off, a frontrunner is sparking controversy. The editor of the film The Brutalist admitted to using artificial intelligence.
In case you haven't seen it, director Brady Corbet's post-World War II epic stars Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones. It follows the story of an architect who survives the war and escapes Europe to revealed his life in America. The Brutalist won big at the Golden Globes, but the revelation that the lead actor's accents were enhanced using AI is now prompting some to question whether it should be allowed to enter the race for some of the Oscars' top awards.
For more on this, let's bring in Katie Rich. She is the awards editor at The Ankler and host of the Prestige Junkie podcast. Katie, good to have you with us. Folks may not have seen The Brutalist because it is nearly 4 hours long. But first of all, talk about exactly how AI was used in this film, what the editor's saying about why he feels he needed to use it.
Yeah, so there's two instances, and the editor, David Jansko, was really pretty frank about it in this interview, kind of defending AI as a tool that's useful for filmmakers. So there was one in which they used AI to clean up the Hungarian dialogue spoken by Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones. In most of the movie, they speak English with Hungarian accents that the director, Brady Corbet, said in his statement they worked very hard with a coach to make it right. But there are a couple of sequences where they're reading letters to each other in Hungarian, and the editor, David Jansko, who is Hungarian, talked about how he use his own voice in this AI model to clean up just a couple of vowels or specific sounds in their voices that really, if you're not a native speaker, like no actor could be expected to get right. There's a second instance in which the production design team may have used Midjourney to create some models of sketches of brutalist buildings that were supposedly made by this architect. When Brady Corbet came out with this statement, he said that Judy Becker, the production designer, and her team only did sketches made by human beings. It's hard to tell if there's any actual AI visible in the movie itself. But these are really two pretty small instances in a film that is very handmade. If you see it, it really is almost 4 hours long. It's many hours of incredible craft done with it. And that was what Brady Corbet, I think, wanted to emphasize in his statement, is that this is a movie made on a pretty small budget by a lot of really dedicated craftspeople. And the AI that was used in this is both small and it was overseen by humans. It created jobs in the process of making this work. It was really handmade as much as AI can be handmade. So I think that's something that's a little easy to get track of, or at least a little easy to lose track of, and the fears that a lot of people have around AI in Hollywood.
Another favorite, right? Amelia Perez also facing criticism here. Walk us through, why it's such a big deal, how it's different from, an action movie using computer-generated effects.
It's a great question. I mean, I think when people hear the word AI, they get this sense of fear. The potential of what AI can do is really vast. I mean, you've had people in charge in Hollywood thinking wow, it's great. We don't need to hire real actors anymore. We can just have AI replicas of their voices. And that's literally something that's happened with, some of the voices in Star Wars. There's AI models being built on James Earl Jones, so the voice of Darth Vader can outlive him. These instances are done with the permission of the actors themselves. I think that's the really important thing. When SAG went on strike last year, that they wanted to make sure that AI wouldn't be built on them without their knowledge or consent. And in Amelia Perez is the same thing, where Respeecher, this AI tool, was used to enhance the voices, to increase vocal range, to do all of these really small, subtle things that not only would you not necessarily notice if you're watching it, but the actors were fully aware of. And that's the important difference.
The Oscars just might tell us how much and how people who work in the industry feel about this. All right, Katie Rich, thanks so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Coming up, if you're a big Netflix fan, prepare to once again shell out a little bit more cash for your favorite content.
Another price hike is coming. So how much are we talking about this time around? And how might you be able to actually save a little dough on all those costly monthly subscriptions? We're going to break it all down next.
Welcome back. Just when you thought subscriptions couldn't get any higher, Netflix just announced on Tuesday it's raising the price of most of its plans here in the U.S.
A different type of inflation. This comes after the streaming giant ended 2024 by adding a record 19 million paid memberships in the last quarter. Netflix now has more than 300 million subscribers worldwide.
We've got NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans with us with more.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. All right, everybody impacted. What kinds of subscriptions?
Streamflation.
Streamflation.
Streamflation. There you go.
I know everything's got to have a word. No, look, it's just about everybody from top to bottom for the tiers here. So $2.50 if you are paying $15.49 today. Your next billing cycle, it'll be $17.99. If you've got the ad tier, so you pay less but you get ads, that's going to go up to $7.99 a month. The standard plan is going to go up to $17.99, and the premium plan, that's where you could have more devices connected. That's going to go to $24.99. So they didn't raise prices, I think, last year when some others did, and so now they're
they're going to jack them up a little bit.
So you look and say they have more subscribers. That should bring in more money. Why are they arguing they also need to raise prices on top of that?
So that subscriber number was gobsmacking to me. 19 million they added in just one quarter. That is a record. And the reason
you think everybody has it already. It's
they're doing all this live programming. It reminds me of the old days in the pay-per-view. They've got Monday Night Raw now. That's wrestling, as you know very well. They had a football game, NFL football game on Christmas Day. They had that fight between Mike Tyson and Logan Paul. And then they've got this appointment viewing that's the Squid Game. You just saw that there. Wednesday is another one. Stranger Things. So it's really become a hub for both scripted programming and the live programming. The live programming is a really big deal.
Yeah.
With the prices of all of these platforms seeming to just get higher and higher, what can we do to keep costs down? We can read a book, cancel them all, but we're really not going to do that, right? You can read a book and keep your streamers, right? Just look at what you have in your stable of streamers and figure out what you're using and what's the best thing for your own budget. Some people are saying, you can cut back on services. You can consider free options like Pluto and Tubi and Sling. There are some resources out there that are trying to get your eyeballs, and then of course those are ad supported, so then that's how they get paid. And then you can also share subscriptions. There are ways in all the different streamers to add somebody for a fee instead of having a whole separate somebody getting their own subscription. So the password sharing is also, there's a crackdown on that overall. So you got to kind of figure out what your sweet spot is for your family budget.
We've seen a number of subscribers raising their prices recently. I mean, talk about this trend. Do we expect it to continue?
I think so. But I also think this is still a space that is leveling out. And I think that Netflix is really the big daddy to chase, or the big mama to chase, I guess, if you want to be fair. YouTube TV just raised its prices to $82.99 a month. There are a lot of young people who don't have cable. This is what they use. Hulu, ad-free, they raised their prices last year. So did Disney. Max did last summer to $16.99. I mean, there are also bundles through your phone provider. So if you have T-Mobile, you've noticed bundles there. A lot of other folks are considering that too. So you would have some of them bundled together for less than the overall cost of each of them. So this space is rapidly changing. And I think the live programming is really interesting for Netflix. I always thought of Netflix as stuff that I didn't see when it came out the first time. Now it's the original programming and a lot of live programming.
Look, they can get Beyonce to do a not Super Bowl halftime show.
Right.
That millions of people watch.
And then just post it and play it so people can keep watching it over and over again.
Yeah.
They're the big mama.
That was right?
There we go. We're going to that.
We're going to that. Thanks, Christine. Well, at least 28 people have died from those devastating wildfires in Southern California since they began just 2 weeks ago. Strong winds and drought conditions fueled the fires, which quickly destroyed massive swaths of residential areas. Thousands of people have been displaced from their homes, and many of them are new moms, now picking up the pieces of their lives and the lives of their families. But thanks to an initiative started by one Los Angeles mom, they're getting some much-needed help from other mothers across the country and beyond. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz joins us from Los Angeles with a touching story in the middle of all this heartache. Liz, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yes, through all this destruction, I have to be honest, it's been so nice to meet these women and share this story. It started as a simple request for help on social media, and it's now grown to a network of some 5,000 women. Women from across the country are banding together to help complete strangers who lost it all.
As some LA fire victims are finally able to see what's left of their homes. For moms like Marissa Williams, the fire's destruction means starting from scratch while caring for a newborn.
We left with just basically the documents that we had and all the clothes that he had in one of his baby dresser drawers. Besides that, everything else is gone.
The fires consumed Marissa's home in Altadena just 6 weeks after she'd given birth to her baby boy Ghazi.
You plan out your entire, at least the next 5 years with this kid. And then now I don't even know what's going to happen for the next 60 days.
Nice to meet you. But Marissa has found support from a grassroots network of moms.
I love his ears.
All of it started by another LA mom, Lisa Kahn, in the hectic early days of the fires, when an out-of-state friend reached out to her on Instagram offering to send baby clothes to a mom in need.
I posted on Instagram on my story, and within maybe 5 minutes, I had a mom reach out saying, I need it.
After that, more women contacted Khan, and the Moms Helping Moms Project was born.
I made a form, and the form started getting shared all over the place in mom groups in Nashville, mom groups in New York, mom groups in Vancouver. By the end of the first day, we had over 2,500 submissions, and now we're at over 5,000.
What are you hearing from those moms who are asking for this help?
They need stuff, and they do not have time to go to donation centers and sift through things. And so we make a match that allows the mom who's helping to send things directly to their doorstep.
Sending so much love, your friends in Portland.
So far, Marissa has been matched with 2 moms, including one in Oregon.
This is more than what I ever expected.
Who sent a box filled with a mix of new items and hand-me-downs from her own newborn.
Hi.
Hey, Kaylee. How are you doing?
Hi, Marissa.
The 2 moms meeting on Zoom for the first time.
There's so many things you need for a baby, but they grow so fast. And that's why I said, you know, I can send you stuff each month as he continues to grow.
I got you some clothes, some baby pants.
That's perfect.
Marissa has also been able to meet up face-to-face with another mom in the LA area.
That was really cool because I don't have any mom friends with a baby that is, you know, really close to my baby's age. I think I found a lifelong friend.
It's support these women hope will last throughout and even beyond the arduous rebuilding process.
These fires, they didn't just impact individuals' homes and stuff, they impacted entire communities. So we're creating these new forms of community between moms in Los Angeles and moms other places in the world. Look how cute he is.
Everybody says it takes a village, and this is a village. This is a village that you can lean on. So that's what's really been the biggest blessing. Yeah.
It seems like you lost one village.
Yeah, and gained another.
Yeah, lost one village, gained another. The group says that they've been able to help 200 moms so far, and it's just been 2 weeks. I mean, 200 moms in 2 weeks. They try to match moms with other moms who have kids of the same age so that they really know what that woman might want or need. If you need help, you know someone needs help, you want to help, you can go to their website. It is momshelpingmoms.co to find a match. Guys.
Such a good idea. Leave it to moms to figure that out and help each other out. Liz, thank you so much.
I think they're about to get a lot more moms. All right, let's get to some financial headlines now. The new Trump administration is going all in on AI.
CNBC's Silvana Hanau joins us with that and other news. Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning to you. So President Trump announcing a major AI investment project called Stargate. Now, Oracle Chairman Larry Ellison, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son all committing an initial $100 billion and up to $500 billion over 4 years. Now, that would go towards new AI infrastructure, including massive data centers to power the chips used in ChatGPT and other applications. Microsoft and NVIDIA will also be joining the project as tech partners. The next software update for your iPhone, Mac, and iPad is coming soon, and it could switch on Apple Intelligence and other AI features by default. 9 to 5 Mac reports that will happen automatically for new users or those upgrading to the latest version of iOS 18. It will only apply to devices that support Apple Intelligence, such as the iPhone 15 or later and the latest iPad mini. You will have to go to the settings page to switch it off. And you got to catch them all. McDonald's is releasing a limited edition Pokemon Happy Meal with exclusive trading cards. Each meal will have a different set of 4 cards from a collection of 15. Now, they'll also include a Pokemon poster and sticker sheet. And if you buy a Happy Meal through the McDonald's app, you can unlock an in-game bonus for the Pokemon TCG Pocket app, guys. I know a lot of people are going to be very excited about this.
Oh, yeah, just wandering around McDonald's looking for the Pokemon. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Silvana. Appreciate it. All right, coming up, a helping hand in the brutal aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
After the break, a group of volunteers from across the country coming together to help those in one Tennessee community rebuild months later. That's next on Morning News Now. Welcome back. We've been talking about the Oscars. Well, let's take a look at another set of awards for movies that didn't go down so well with everyone. The nominations are out for the Golden Raspberry Awards, or Razzies. Joker, Folie à Deux took the lead with 7 nominations, including, I hate these, including Worst Picture, Director, Screenplay, and Worst Actor nominations for its stars, Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. Here are all of the other nominees for Worst Picture: Madame Web, Megalopolis, Borderlands, and Reagan. If you're curious as to just how the Razzies work, nominations and winners are determined by thousands of voters who pay a membership fee. The winners will be announced on March 1st, the day before the Oscars.
Interesting. Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for the first Joker, could win a Razzie for the second one.
Was it that bad? Have you seen it?
I've heard horrible things about
Okay.
it. It was a musical, which to many people just didn't make sense.
Madam Web, I know, is like torched.
I mean, the stars made fun of Madam Web?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
All right, well, good luck to all. All right. Finally
Moving
this
on.
hour, a group of people from across the country is helping survivors of Hurricane Helene get back into their homes months after the storm tore through Tennessee. Leah Bridgman from our Bristol, Virginia affiliate WCYB visited Valley Forge for the story.
When you see your neighbors hurting and saying, hey, I don't know where I'm going to turn, it's hard to see that.
For Curtis Gentry and his family, helping those in need has been a calling, and they feel blessed that others have answered the call as well. Volunteers from across the country have come together to help those who have lost so much.
It's incredible to see the hearts of the people that's willing to help. That's what keeps us motivated and going.
Jimmy Radcliffe, a do-it-all contractor, set his business aside in Tulsa, Oklahoma to help here in Valley Forge.
I've been through some trauma in my life. I've lost quite a bit of things in my life at times. And, you know, when you lose your home, when you lose things that's been your whole life, whatever I can do to help restore some of that to them and bring some hope.
Help from people like Jimmy have put 3 Valley Forge residents back in their homes since Helene. One of those homeowners is Wanda Steins, who lost everything in the flooding.
I thought, oh, this will be years and years and years. And what I was doing was thinking ahead to have the house nice for my daughter and my grandkids. I know by the time they're finished, it's going to be great, better than it was before.
And the rebuilding effort continues.
We still have 4 homes that we ain't even touched. And, you know, there's just a huge need of materials, need living room suit, bedroom suits. You know, there's a ton.
Our thanks to Liam Bridgman with our Bristol, Virginia affiliate WCYB for that report. Those volunteers say they plan to fix a total of 9 homes damaged by Helene. And when you have widespread damage in an area like that, people don't realize it does sometimes take years and years to rebuild because the resources just aren't there. People are waiting for the insurance money, all these things. When the volunteers step in, it makes all the difference in the world.
A reality coming soon for LA as well.
Exactly. All right, that is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Don't go anywhere, though. Stick with us because the news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.